And the crowd goes RTJ, and the crowd goes RTJ. Hey everybody, welcome back for another album reaction. I am really excited about this one. I've been counting down the top 12 albums of 2020, going off the Metacritic scores. And up until now, there's been, musicians that I've been somewhat familiar with, and there's been musicians I'd never heard of. This is the first time that I'm reacting to an album by a band that I'm actually a legitimate fan of, and that I'm a fan of going into it, not a band that I'm just kind of somewhat familiar with. This is a band that, I've listened to all their albums and I am a big fan, but it also just kind of goes to show you just how out of the loop and out of touch I was with music last year, that I didn't even carve out time to listen to an album from a band, or I guess a rap duo that I really admire and really love their music. So yeah, that just goes to show you why this project, for me on a personal level, was necessary. Because I just needed to, kick myself in the ass to just get up and listen to a lot of this music that came out last year. I've been pleasantly surprised with a lot of the music that I've listened to so far on this countdown. I've enjoyed every album so far, but this is going to be different because I don't need an introduction to Run the Jewels. Yeah, I feel like I've known about Run the Jewels pretty much since the beginning. They were on my radar early just because I already knew about Killer Mike and LP as individual MCs, so when they announced that they were going to be a duo and making music together, that immediately caught my attention. I can't think of a hip-hop group or act that just has more ferocity and righteous anger, but at the same time able to sort of add moments of levity through dark humor and just really super clever lyrics, but also just have moments that are really poignant at the same time. It's just, there's this sort of alchemical mixture of just so many really compelling elements in their music. And I even think just beyond, their lyrics and beyond their flow, they even just like the music, I just think their beats sound so different than what is going on in hip hop today, and also just what's come before it. It's not traditional boom bap hip hop, but it's also not really, as far as I can tell, trap or anything that's, kind of more contemporary in terms of hip hop production. They just really seem to be doing their own thing on all kinds of levels, and that makes it really compelling for me. They have a dark sense of humor. A lot of their lyrics are really just these really great one-liners that, make you laugh, but also make you go like, oh man, I can't believe he said that. Like, I've definitely had laugh out loud moments listening to their music, when even moments where I'm like, should I have been laughing at that? I don't know, man, that was kind of dark. But they're also not afraid to be totally vulnerable and sincere and stand on just being earnest. Like, I think of the song Crown off of RTJ4, where it's, Killer Mike, and he's just recounting the story of, when he used to deal drugs and like having this guilt of selling drugs to this one woman, and he feels like he ruined her life, and the guilt and remorse he has of that, and like he sees her years later and apologizes to her. That song it's not what you would expect from Run the Jewels necessarily, but I think it's very much part of what they do. They're also part of that hip-hop tradition of storytelling and representing what's happening in their neighborhoods in a way that doesn't always glorify it. They talk about the remorse and the regret. So yeah, this is all to say that Run the Jewels contains multitudes, and that's why I love their music. And speaking of their music, let's just go ahead and jump right in. This is going to be my reaction to Run the Jewels and their album RTJ4. Let's go. I'm stoked.
Back at it like a crack addict, Mr. Black Magic, crack a bitch back, chiropractic, craftmatic, big daddy smoking big, Cali in a black, alley in a black, granddaddy rolling down, old natty, how, napping Matty as a black, granddaddy all back, I'm a chopper with a chopper till I motherfucking drop.
Stack addict, I'm back with the blackest fabric, I'm back, I'm magically racking it, that's when I'm ducking, rat-a-tat-tats, I'm running the truck over sucker shit, matter of fact, it's the ass and even the crack, automatic facts, it's like that. Scam of bliss when you put in feelings in charge of shit. Immortality's out of bounds, it's a one-round ride.
I got one round left, 100 cops outside. Yankee and the brave in here, everybody hit the deck. We don't mean no harm, but we truly mean all the disrespect for.
Yeah, these lyrics, man. I didn't get my degree in how to smoke weed till I'm blind, so you could ruin my high. What university was that, by the way? And then he had this other line. Yeah, immortality's out of bounds, it's a one-way ride. That's so good. It's like, it struck me as funny when I first heard it. I guess maybe the way he delivered it. There's also just like What I love about Run the Jewels is the way they deliver their lines sometimes. There's just such a hubris to it. You know, they're just like almost annoyed that they're having to tell you this, you know? It's part of the charm of their music as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, immortality's out of bounds. It's a one-way ride. Like, just on paper, I'm just reading that and I'm like, that's a pretty poignant line. Yeah, like it's just like another clever way of saying you only live once, you know? But the way he delivered it was just, there was just such a like annoyedness to it. There's just such like annoyed tone to it. So keeping it moving, we got track 2, Ooh La La, featuring Greg Nice and DJ Premier. Wow, okay, throwing it back.
Ooh la la, ah wee wee.
Love some good piano and hip hop.
Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Jump out of my bed like where the bread. You go hold the egg. Waiter, bring the check. When we talk, we Kalishnikov. Keep us in your thoughts. Fully dressed at the crack of dawn. Weapons letting off. Look alive. Looking like I live life on a crooked line. Doing fine. You want maximum stupid? I am the guy.
First of all, law, we is fucking raw. Steak tartare, oysters on the half shell. Sushi bar, like a bitch, and the pussy fish. Still fuck the raw. I'm a dog. I'm a dirty dog. Ha 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 ha. Oh, dirty bastard. Go in your jaw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. No matter what you order, motherfucker, we want you stuck. I used to love Bruce, but living my vida loca. Help me understand, I'm probably more of a joke. When we usher in
nice.
chaos, just know that we did it smile. Cannibals on this island, inmates run the asylum.
DJ
And I love that line. Doing fine, you want maximum stupid? I'm the guy. It's like, yeah, there's that self-deprecating humor. Especially I feel like LP really brings a lot of self-deprecating humor. Like, part of me feels like, I mean, obviously he's an amazing MC, but if hip-hop had never worked out, he could have definitely carved out a career as a stand-up comic, I feel like. Oh, another great little philosophical existential line from LP here. I'm afraid of nothing but nothingness, ain't it something? Oh, so good. So yeah, let's keep it moving. We have track 3, Out of Sight. By the way, Out of Sight, starring George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez back in the day. I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember really digging that movie. I need to rewatch that again soon.
Really isn't us with a rush. See you cutting up a pie, that's my lunch.
Yo, mother, yeah, ever ready, baby boy, bitty, moving extra heavy, whipping Chevy. Gotta get it, eat spaghetti with the monster. Vegan bitches feed them dick, cause they don't eat no steak and lobster. Sosa was my hero, Honey Tony's just a fucking host.
Man, I smoke a bogey backwards with a thumb up like it's fine. Keep it self, I say, selflessly divine. Leave me here to drown the glory, you're too good to cross that line.
Hello, Mr. Big Safe, the bank teller trying to get ranked. I buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be frank. Just left the hospital.
Buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be frank. Be frank. Oh, being a nerd for puns, like hip hop sometimes really just comes through for you.
These lame Supreme jackets until you rob a hype beast, you ain't seen sadness. Clockwork, orange madness left the scene laughing.
And I'm a born and bred Uso who chopped and screwed truth up. Think I got a case of the Mondays on fire.
Case of the Mondays. Gotta love a good Office reference. Office Space, I mean.
Can't get the ghost up, no resistance. Pass the shit, Mike, I have to insist it. Reality sucks, Cal Stafford with
I'm really digging this instrumental.
Hey, little guy, I'm just walking through from another timeline where monsters eat truth. Physicists say that though I get proof the multiverse lives, I'm supposed to just lose.
Payback, allow me to state that.
Yeah, this might be my favorite instrumental so far. Just how sparse and haunting it is.
One time in the big old South, lived a little chubby kid with a big old mouth. Lane writers gave him big old doubts. Now the same little boy in a big old house. 1 minute let me be candid. You stand by the garbage can hand to hand. And that dumb trap shit, no proper plan. To see ignorant shit like Geek is dance. Hey, I'ma come through and leave.
Ooh, I love how that's escalating.
Somebody call ambulance or ambulances. It's out of chances. That weak shit you be bantering. You're common cold and my flows are cancerous.
You're common cold and my flows are cancerous. Strong line.
If I make another wish, I'll wish for a wish for you.
Goonies versus E.T.
Hey, ultra man, cash a bag. Running through dead zone, hope it don't crash. Tennis on, motherfucker, bring it up fast. Be alone, I'ma hold what I can and then dash. Y'all got another planet on stash. Far from the fact that the flames of our trash.
It's like an intensity or an anxiety to these instrumentals.
The brass on the magic lamps damn near rub through.
It's like they were watching horror movies when they came up with these last two tracks. Ooh, love that. Is that a little bit of saxophone? Is that what that is? Some reverb on it? Or a trumpet?
Life's a disguise, the truth is butt naked. Used to be a time I see it and I say it. Now I understand that woke folk is playing. Ain't no revolution, it's televised and digitized. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys.
That was Goonies versus E.T. And man, these last couple instrumentals, I've enjoyed all the instrumentals so far, but these last two, I just love the kind of darker turn they've taken. This one did something really cool and creative because like it had that sort of dark, kind of anxious feel to it. But then every now and then they would just bring in this drum sample that, man, it reminded me of like, so there's, I think his name's Michael Viner in the Incredible Bongo Band, I think is the name of it. But like a lot of famous hip hop samples came from that album. And this sounded like it was coming from that. It sounded like it was sampling Incredible Bongo Band. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know where that sample came from. Yeah, I mean, I have that album, and it's phenomenal. And I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for hip-hop sampling. But yeah, I just want to revisit this one line. I had to look it up just to make sure I had it right. From Killer Mike on that song. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. Like, damn, what a perfect and succinct way to encapsulate just kind of the state of the culture right now, the state of society right now. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. Damn, like, yeah, that's, yeah. There's a lot to unpack there, but yeah, man, the commentary on this track, oof, fire. We got Walking in the Snow. Back in my day, I had to walk 5 miles in the snow to listen to RTJ.
Get a dose of dirty cold to go, been cold since cold flow. Got a wire to enlarge and I set a fire down below.
Just got done walking in the snow.
Goddamn, that motherfucker's cold. This whole world's a shit mode, built to the brim like Gitmo. When you think it don't get more low, and then bow to the sticks on flow. All oppression's born of lies, I don't make the rules, I'm just one guy. All due respect of getting spit on's how respect is now defined.
Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker cold. Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker cold.
Around the age of 5, you shipped away for your body to be stored. They promise education, but really they give you tests and scores. And they predicting prison population by who's scoring the lowest. And usually the lowest scores the poorest, and they look like me. And every day on the evening news, they feed your fear for free.
Man, I'm loving all the change-ups in this instrumental.
Choke out a man like me. The most you give a Twitter rant and call it a tragedy. I wish I could magically fast forward the future so then you can face it and see how fucked up it'll be. I promise I'm honest, they coming for you the day after they coming for me. I'm reading Chomsky, I'm reading Bukowski, I'm laying low for a week. Never forgetting the story of Jesus, the hero was killed by the state.
Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker cold. Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker cold.
What are we gonna do? Non-smoke? Get a job, play the role, be a dose? Nah, I'ma do me. Arigato, gato.
It's a nice way to piece out of a song.
They cheating, cause they're one of them black and the other one white. So if you don't like them, you automatically racist.
Mastered economics, cause you took yourself from squalor. Slave. Mastered academics, cause your grade said you a scholar. Slave. Mastered Instagram, cause you can instigate a follow.
Got another Zach De La Rocha track.
Slave masters posing on your dollar.
Hand on my heart, on my mind, on my drugs. Got a vodka gut punch for your Atlas shrug. Love or not love, it's just that dumb. Lord, sweet Buddha, please make me numb.
Look at all these slave masters. Let it sink in.
Clean look, port pugilist. A shooter's view is a brutal flick. Too rude for you rudiments. Who convinced you can move against the crew in this? Stay set from a deafening reckoning. Quick like the pace of a verse. So I'm questioning this quest for things is a recipe for early death threatening. But the breath of me is weaponry for you is just money.
Now, what I love about Zach on these RTJ tracks, which, you know, he seems to feature at least once an album, is that you just get to see a different side of him. You know, he gets to bring he gets to bring the ruckus, like he gets to, with Rage Against the Machine, it's more serious and it's political, obviously, and that's not to say his RTJ verses aren't political. They definitely are, but he gets to frame them in a different way. He gets to bring that RTJ energy, that fire, more like a raw, dark humor is kind of just bring more of a gangster attitude to the way he does it, more so than the parameters of Rage Against the Machine would allow.
RTJ, the God killer, this Tokyo and I'm Godzilla. And if I did the oligarchs,
that guitar sample sounds so familiar. What is that from? That sounds so familiar.
I'm guessing I'ma be okay somehow.
Gang of Four, Ether. Yeah. Wow, what a sample to throw in there. Yeah, I love that song.
I give an inch to you simps, I'll never forgive me. Not saying it's a conspiracy, but you're all against me. You see a picture.
Wow, they even sampled the melodica from that.
I'm guessing I'ma be okay.
Just makes me want to go and listen to some Gang of Four now. They're behind the daydream. It's at the end of the rainbow.
Never meant much. Twisting down through time, see them trying to unwind creation. Don't be surprised, it's a mistake to think their influence had faded.
And at best I'm just getting it wrong. And at worst I've been right from the start. It hurts, I've been torn apart. There's a grenade in my heart.
Kicking and screaming while watching the demons collecting the gold and the diamond residuals. My pastors say God has promised us paradise, live a good life, it is pivotal. And still they move like they invincible. These filthy criminals sit at the pinnacle, doing the typical, keeping us miserable. Taking the most and providing the minimal. Hate to sound cynical, but shit is pitiful.
Like right and wrong can't be defined. There's a grenade
this one's going hard.
And the pen is in their palm.
Alright, the final track. A few words for the firing squad.
But Berlin once again, it's 4 days straight. I didn't wake you, baby, I just watched you lay in the radiation of the city sun. I used to want to get the chance to show the world I'm smart. Isn't that dumb? I should have focused mostly on the heart. Cause I see smarter people trample life like it's an art. Still being smart ain't what it used to be, this dark. Like maybe rich is not the holy, ever-loving king of nothing. Fuckers know we know you're bluffing, you are dealing with a motherfucking money runners.
When my mother transitioned to another plane, I was sitting on a plane, telling her to hold on, and she tried hard, but she just couldn't hang. Friends tell her he could be another Malcolm, he could be another Martin. She told her partner I need a husband more than the world need another martyr.
This is for the never heard, never even got a motherfucking word. This is for my sister Sarah, honey, I'm so sorry you were hurt.
Black child in America, the fact that I made is magic. Black and beautiful, the world broke my mama hard and she died an addict. Go hard, last word to the fire squad was you too.
Loving this build-up. That was RTJ4 by Run the Jewels. Yeah, man, this album seems like it had like a lot of the instrumentals just had a darker tone. Like, I know there's always just been kind of an experimental feel with the instrumentals that Run the Jewels use, but on this album, it just felt definitely like there was just a darker turn overall. There was some sort of just really kind of sparse, minimalist tracks. Like, I'd say RTJ3 was just a really fierce and furious album, and that's what I love about it. I love that energy. And this album had some of that, but overall, it just also had like, I don't, somber's not the right word for it. Like, they were definitely bringing the energy, but there was definitely this sense of like this almost lingering darkness under it, in a way that I feel like hasn't necessarily been there in past RTJ albums. And I think that really what that shows you is like what's on these guys' mind. You know, it's like you look at the lyrics and there's, you know, they've always brought the social commentary, but in particular on this one, they're just getting a lot more specific. So yeah, I'm wondering if this like haunted quality to these instrumentals is just reflecting kind of where they're at psychologically in terms of just, you know, what's going on in the country and what's going on in society. You know, it's just kind of hard for me to talk about these tracks individually because it all just flowed so well. Like, it almost felt like a concept album in that sense of where, you know, it was almost, you couldn't sometimes tell where one song stopped and another one started. It just all really felt like one complete experience. So yeah, I'm having trouble kind of just being like, well, I like this track more than that track, because it all just felt like one big track. Yeah, there was so much going on that I'm really just gonna have to listen to it a few more times to really solidify my opinion on it. It's just like, especially with, you know, music as layered and dense as this, especially with the rhymes, like there's just so much going on lyrically, so much going on production wise, that it's just like, you know, I don't have a lot of specific things to say right now because it's just all kind of just, I'm just taking it in, you know what I mean? And like I said, I think the personality of this album overall is just, there's like a darker, more haunted feeling, at least to a lot of the instrumentals. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that again. So that's gonna do it for me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, because that lets you know when a new video drops. Gonna be doing these album reactions, currently counting down the top 12 of 2020. After that, who knows? It's wide open. I listen to all genres of music, so what do y'all want to hear? Start leaving some comments, some recommendations. Signing out for today. This has been Good Movies and Music. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.